Am I crazy or is Alireza bright red? Like, he is feeling the moment. Both guys showing expressions on their faces. D6, by the way, we have that structure. I'm hyped. Now the F knight could go to D7, and black will advance in the middle with E5. There's some very interesting nuances here, and these games can get very locked. I really like these positions for black, although white does have a nice space advantage. Yeah, this is tense.
Wow, it's so level right now. It's so balanced. Both sides have lost on time now. Both sides have been panicking. Magnus shaking his head. Both sides have now played the Bogo Indian as black. And we see the Connect 4, the pawn center, challenged, though, with E5. Exactly what you were describing there, Levy. And the question is whether white wants to keep the tension or block it up. Two very different modes of action here.
It looks really restricted, by the way. Magnus just... I think, and I'm sure you've talked with Magnus about games before, I'm sure he could go 6 hours, 12 hours, maybe 2 weeks thinking about a game and moments in a game. He's thinking about the game. Exactly. And the reason he won on time, just for everybody confused, is Alireza's clock hit 0. But also because he didn't have a check. There was no obvious move, and when the knight protects the king, the knight is the best defender against the queen. And Alireza just couldn't figure out a plan, but Magnus knows he might have gotten away with something.
Yeah, his king was living life on the edge, and he survived Magnus. That's the type of scramble where I would have thought Alireza's the favorite. That time it just happened to go the other way. That's how close these two are in all time formats. That felt like a bullet match, that finish. But really high quality up to that point with the positional queen sack, the way that Alireza was maneuvering with his queen. For now, though, it is white with a space advantage, but pieces coming off the board, alleviating that cramping that black otherwise might be suffering with. And I'm expecting him next to bring his knight into the center, maybe after c6, and solid enough for black. But I think most players would choose white and the nice pawn center here.
This is why I like the setup with black, because white does get a lot of space, but it's not so simple to then figure things out. And you can just sort of arbitrarily push your pawns. This is a very Firouzja-esque type of game as black. They're both mirroring each other.
Yeah.
Firouzja plays like this, moves like h5, encroaching on the space. You know, if white plays h3, it's a huge positional error potentially with the dark squares being weak in the long run, but I'm loving this. This is a d4 masterclass. Really, just a masterclass of a match.
We haven't had an e4 yet, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, this is crazy. Queen's Gambits, Queen's Indians, Bogo Indians, you name it, we've had it. I expect the King's Indian at some point if Magnus is behind. But there we go. The h-pawn is pushing, and you're right. It's like they're adopting each other's styles. They've clearly both come really well prepared to this match.
I love it. I hope it's tense all the way down to the conclusion. Like I said, last time it was 6-3 after the 5+1, and then, wait till I read you this stat, in the 3+1, it was 8-2. Oof. Now, obviously, you could be a bit tilted from the 5+1, and then it sort of gets out of control. We need this level sustained as Magnus has given up the bishop pair to the young opponent and yet still has an advantage by striking back in the center with d5.
Yeah, he needed to be quick, Magnus. It is counterintuitive sometimes, but when you play against the bishop pair, you need to accelerate the play, even at the cost of opening it up. Here, the black bishop was asleep, so some pressure now on the b4 pawn. And structurally, black is doing very, very well long-term with a queenside pawn majority, so d5 makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I don't think he's quite quick enough here, Alireza. Maybe he'll have to close it down. There we go, with c5, at least create a nice home for his knight. But queen to e7, maybe some tactics against the loose bishop.
And apparently the wrong move, like maybe black had to go for h3, maybe black needed a more emphatic solution. There might have been knight h5, knight g3 ideas with the queen coming to h4, you know, just clearing things out over there. But in the long run, David, if the queens come off and the rooks come off, white is almost positionally just winning on the spot. You just go knight a5, and black is never protecting that pawn.
Exactly. Got to be dynamic, got to be quick. And, oh, h3, there's going to be rook e1 and tactics in the air. Shout out to our younger viewers in the arena, lots of them here in London today. A lot of people cheering for Alireza.
I love it. In the UK, folks like chess, maybe even more than football at a young age. Those two things go hand in hand. That's all I did, right? I played soccer, football as a kid. I very quickly realized I was not particularly good. I stuck to the chess. You probably played some sports as well growing up, and then it goes all chess.
Exactly. We stick to what we're good at, right? And,
oh, yeah.
I loved the football, but was never going to make it as a pro. Here we go, bishop f1. Lots of calculation needed. I think knight c4 is maybe also on the radar. Very forcing move, either coming in or forcing white to make some exchanges. But h3's got to be the move you want to play, just to loosen up the white king and make it difficult for Alireza long term.
Yeah, but as you said, rook e1 is so nasty because then you can never move.
Difficult, difficult decision for Magnus Carlsen. Still got extra time. And the chat poll now saying that 58% Magnus. That is closing. That is not a huge amount of people believing in Magnus here, maybe just due to how strongly Alireza is performing so far today. But consistency is going to be the key.
It would be a revelation. We have needed some storylines in chess for quite some time. We got one about 2 hours ago with Denis Lazovic. If this were to happen, it would be incredible, and so far, he's in prime position. Remember, he very well could be the best bullet player in the world, and we only have about 71 minutes until that portion. So it's on the board, David. H3 Rookie 1.
Yeah, Magnus is making faces. He's gesturing to himself. Doesn't look so comfortable. This is a really, really nasty pin. Magnus can maybe leave the pawn on h3. Could also flick in a check, flick in a capture. At some point, though, I think he just needs to get his queen out of dodge here before white is able to up the pressure on the knight or just take the knight.
Yeah, what do you play here? It's so uncomfortable. And if those pawns for white also get moving, like if I just played g3, not right now because there would be knight takes pawn, the pawn on h3 is just gone. It's totally gone. He's relying on it wrecking the position. If you imagine black could take on g2 now, the doubled f pawns for white would be a problem. So can Alireza play queen f4? That move looks like it just wins the game. Just looks like a pin and you can't get out of it. So what are the consequences?
That has to be the one he's thinking about. I'm looking at some queen sacrifices there, like move the knight, try and get in on the back rank. What would happen? Queen f4 is the critical move. It either works very strongly or it backfires.
Right, knight d3.
Knight d3.
Queen takes queen, rook takes rook, king, or maybe pawn takes pawn there. It's just, we don't have to play the game, so we don't care. They could figure it out on their own. But queen f4 just it looks like a crushing move. The only move that black has to play any defense is knight fd7. That is not what you want to do.
No. He will not be playing that unless he feels there's nothing else, Magnus Carlsen. But Alireza needs to move. He doesn't have to go for queen f4. He can, I don't know, plant something in the center. He can just wait. He can trade off if he maybe wants to take it to opposite color bishops, although there black might just have the superior structure. He's under 1 minute, though. Nervous times. He's got to move.
What is actually, what are we doing after queen f4? Like, is there pawn takes g2 or something and some knight d3?
Just while Alireza thinks, let's jump in, let's get an analysis board up and check out what happens after queen to f4. Knight d4 is played instead. Advantage black now, though.
He didn't play it.
Oh, and the blue arrow shows knight c4. Let's show what happened after queen to f4, the critical move. We would have seen potentially some crazy tactics in the air. I'll just quickly put it on the board as the players think. Knight e to g4 levy. Of course, apparently would win on the spot.
Why?
Which is crazy after queen takes rook, hitting this bishop, and I'm struggling to understand this. Knight to d2. Apparently just knight to e3 and just breaking through on the back rank.
Oh, gh3, knight e3. And you're mated or something? Wait, because you can still play knight c2. What was gh3?
In this position, take, check, and something with some knights. I mean, the king would have to go to h4.
What?
Check it out. Knight takes, king takes, rook g1.
Wow, g6 mate. You really calculated all of that?
I think he was. I think he was calculating Alireza, but he chickened out, and rightly so. And if we catch up with the live position, Magnus now has a strategic advantage. Look at that white pawn structure. Ugly, and the knight coming in.
Yeah, sorry everybody. We really had to break that down. 11 seconds on the clock. Just this is not a winning strategy. You just cannot get this low on time.
Magnus is spoiled for choice here. He can give a check. I mean, maybe with his queen, with his knight. At some point, the other knight's going to come in via f4, replace the queen. Long-term, short-term, it's all Magnus right now. And the clock.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. This is dreadful. 2 knights to defend against. Oh, just looks like you're mated soon, but he's just surviving.
He's just surviving. The queen coming back, threatening checkmate is a very tempting option right now, but I think white would try and get the queens off as quickly as possible, cling on a bit longer, as you said earlier. Endgames, maybe white has some chances. We'll go after the black queenside pawns.
Alireza would love a queen trade. He'd pay money for it. Like, he is absolutely trying to trade the queens any chance he gets, but he can't. Bishop d2, he gives away a knight, but he was going to take back. Knight c2, queen f3.
Yeah, this is really tense right now. He does get the queens off, but at the cost of trading off his dart-squared bishop there. No more bishop pair.
Oh, he had to go knight b3, though.
Yeah, why not knight b3? That's bizarre. The knight was dying to go after the black b7 pawn, but
Whoa! Can you play like bishop a6 or something? Something completely crazy there? Or
that would've been
b5?
fun. But look at the white king now.
It's just over here.
The white king is trapped, and the white knight finally realizing its mistake. It now wants to go for the b7 pawn, but too late. The bishop can just go to e1 and force the white knight back. Maybe the d pawn at some point. That's a passer.
This is a totally winning endgame for black despite the material equality. Alireza is making every move with half a second on the clock. Maybe he's going to trick. Oh my goodness, he might have gotten some life here.
Whoa, he's back in it. He's holding everything for now, but Magnus still long term is in charge. He wins a pawn, but at least the white king gets off the edge of the board.
But if Firouzja saves this, it is hard not to lock him in as a bullet favorite. Really, Magnus Carlsen has to win this position.
Yeah, Magnus on form wins this 10 times out of 10, especially with the time advantage. But, okay, strange things happen in finals, especially close ones.
Alireza is finding the only moves.
Magnus is going back, though. He wants the c5 pawn. He wants to keep the white pieces honest.
Now, at some point, he can take it now. Right, he was threatening some sort of way to, like, bishop, he's just not fast enough. Now he's threatening to take it.
Yep, and he wants to go behind. Alireza flogs another pawn. That's not going to pay off.
No, that's not good enough, and he is going to be 2 pawns down.
Soon to be 3. There we go. c5 pawn now hangs. 3 pawns is too much.
Yeah, you're going to get one of them back, but this could be a draw without the f-pawns. There are positions, believe it or not, where you can have c and d and it's a draw. But this is not one of those positions. Magnus Carlsen is looking at a 1-game lead with about 5 minutes of game time remaining.
Exactly. With 2 extra pawns, you either want them far separated, many files between them, or connected, like here, and Magnus gets the win, takes the lead.